Hello and welcome. This is catching up. My transmission is definitely leaking. Anyway, if you didn't see any of my other videos, I had an issue with the wrench light coming on. Checked the transmission fluid. It was low. I added about a quart of fluid. I checked it again 2 days later and it was fine. Everything was fine. Anyway, so in the past week, it's been a week since I guess probably since I posted, since I did all that. But anyway, today I decided, I thought it was only 5 days, but it was actually a week since the transmission, the wrench light came on. Anyway, so I checked it and the transmission fluid was down. It was probably on the minimum mark. So I added a tad, I added a little bit. I didn't want to overfill, so I only added about a quarter of a quart, maybe a little less. I'm not sure. It could probably use a little more, but I will only wait a few days, maybe 2-3 days, and I'll check it again. And I just don't want to overfill, because the last time I noticed it was a bit over the full mark, and I don't want that to happen again. So it's about halfway. Anyway, so I took it to another. There was one dealership I called, and in Hendersonville, North Carolina, Parks Ford, and they had me scheduled, but as it turns out, I ended up having to go get tires, front tires. I went to another dealership to, maybe see about tires and maybe find out if there was a leak or whatever. Anyway, the advisor there advised me to, after I explained the wrench light and what was going on, he recommended I just drive it, keep driving it, and just pay attention, and then if the wrench light came back on again, to bring it in. But to just keep driving it and see if the wrench light came back on. But since I'd already lost transmission fluid, I figured I'd better check it. So that's what I did today. I checked it, and it's a little low. And it went down. Let's put it that way. So added about a quarter of a quart, not quite full, whatever. I'll add some more in a few days. Anyway, But in the last week, I've driven probably a couple hundred miles. So that's not a huge amount of usage. I ended up having to, when I took it to the other dealership, they checked the tires, and the woman said, there's no way. You have got to get the front tires replaced. There's a big knot in one of the tires anyway, and I know that's kind of probably a risk of a blowout, so I knew I had to get more tires. I ended up having to drive 30 miles I checked a couple tire places locally, but it was like $150 a tire. So I checked Walmart, and I ended up having to drive 30 miles to the Walmart to get the tires replaced. And anyway, I checked one closer, but they were a Walmart closer, but they were just like, really, no. Anyway, so I went to the one that was 30 miles away. I got the front tires replaced, because that's the only two that needed to be replaced. Paid $90 a tire instead of $150 a tire. And I also wanted to get the same tires on here that to match them, because the back tires are still good, but I wanted all four tires to be the same brand. Anyway, so I got the tires replaced. I drove out to my post office box, because I haven't checked my post office box. Good thing I did. It was full. Checked that, and then came back to up here to where I'm at, where I'm in Waynesville, staying with a friend. As I said before, I'm kind of couch surfing between a friend in Canton and a friend in Waynesville. I'm staying with a friend in Waynesville right now. I've wore out my welcome pretty much, so I'm going to have to leave. And besides, I've got stuff with litigation going on that I've got to go back to Hendersonville, North Carolina, next week to try to deal with that. A whole bunch of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. Anyway, so I checked today, and it's leaking, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I was hoping maybe it was just a mistake, but I should know. But anyway, I'm just hoping that it's what I think it is, which, if it is, it would be transmission lines, but it might be something more. Anyway, the main reason that I went over to another dealership here in the one in Canton, Ken Wilson Ford in Canton, is because the one in Hendersonville, for some reason, they'll keep my car for like a month and a half, and that's what happened last time. And I just can't keep a rental car out for a month and a half, or stay in a motel for a month and a half with no way to get places. And even if I take my ex's car, a month is going to be a month and a half is going to be a bit much, because then I've got to deal with my own work. I've got to deal with all my stuff. I would have to drive back to his house every single day and take him where he needs to go, take him to work, do everything's got to do with him. That's a real problem. So that's a real issue. So that's one of the reasons I went to another dealership. I was hoping that, maybe they'd look at it, but they kind of just, didn't really want to, because they figured just, they were basically like, okay, bring it back. The wrench light comes on, but the wrench light's not on, but thankfully has not come back on, but it is leaking. I know it's leaking because I've lost some fluid. Granted, not a lot of fluid, maybe only a quarter to a half a quart in 200 miles, but that's still a leak. It should not be leaking at all. It shouldn't be losing transmission fluid at all. So that's where I'm at. I'm probably going to end up having to make an appointment with the dealership in Hendersonville, North Carolina, which I really don't want to do because they keep my car for so long. There used to be another mechanic I went to and my ex-husband goes to, but he keeps the car out for throat is scratchy, equal amount of time, and that's, again, a month and a half is too much. I mean, I cannot stay in a rental car for no month and a half. Plus, and like I said, my ex's car, maybe I take his, but I'm still running into the problem of having to chauffeur him around, try and deal with my own stuff, get to work, chauffeur him around. It's just a real issue. Anyway, and there's been a lot of issues with that car, like dying in the road, so I would be okay with keeping it around town, and maybe whatever, just around town, sleeping in it somewhere, but I don't want to if I can get out of it, but not when I can come back and stay with my friends for just a little while. But after I get done with this, like I think I said before, I'll probably go to Greenville, stay with a friend for just a little bit before I have to go back to West Virginia, deal with the litigation, and then go back to West Virginia to get my aunt moved. Anyway, that's my story, basically catching up. My transmission's leaking. I know it is, so that's where I'm at. And I guess the next video, hopefully, or do whatever I do in between. Anyway, hope to see you guys in my other videos. Anyway, I'm here. I gotta eat. I hope everyone has a good week. God bless. Peace.